Hey guys, it is really nice out, so I thought I'd go on a walk for this one.
12 seconds later.
Alright. But I want to talk about discouragement. I think that that's something that a lot of us are struggling with right now. I know that I am. The problem for me is that I had like plans for this summer. You know, I had plans for hanging out with friends. I had plans to do some of my summer hobbies. I love to golf. Call me a boomer, it's fine. I love to mountain bike. Part of the reason I do those things is to hang out with people. And when I started to realize that those things aren't really gonna happen for now, that was really discouraging. I mean, I just love being around people in those ways, and being stuck in my room and missing out on that stuff is a big discouragement. And I imagine that for a lot of you, that's similar. You had some plans and those things kind of got canceled for you because of all this, and that's discouraging, and that's really kind of stinks. I just want to talk a little bit about how to overcome that. I want to talk for just a second. I'm not even going to read it. I'm just going to give a little overview of how Joseph did that. I mean, Joseph, really, of anyone, had kind of the most reason to be discouraged, right? Like, his life was tough. He was basically abandoned by his brothers, sold into slavery, and he worked hard and trusted God, and God brought him to a place of power. He brought him to a place where he was basically in power in Egypt. And one day things were going well, and he was accused of something that he didn't do, and he got thrown into prison. I mean, if that's not rock bottom, I don't know what is. And through all of that, he was not discouraged. He still trusted God. And that's a huge testament to his faith. Huge testament to how much he trusts God, really, and how much he puts his trust in his life in God. I think that can serve as an example to us, even though that's kind of really hard at times, and especially for me as a planner. I hate it when things don't work out the way that they seem they're going to, or that I plan for them to. And things really did not work out well for Joseph in that moment, and he stayed faithful to God no matter what. And that's hard for me even. I just want to read a quote from a guy named Paul Harvey. He kind of makes it out to be easier than it is, but it says this. He says, "I hope someday to have so much of what the world calls success that people ask, 'What's your secret?' So I can say, 'I just get up when I fall down.'" It's really not that easy, but I think there's something we can take out of that. The reality is, we kind of feels like we've fallen down here. Kind of feels like, man, it kind of feels like this whole coronavirus thing is much bigger than us. Kind of it is, honestly. I think the beauty of being a Christian right now is that we serve a God who is so much bigger than that. We serve a God that is so much more powerful than the coronavirus. And my encouragement to you is to trust in him. And that sounds cheesy and it sounds overused or whatever, but it's so important, especially right now. We have to trust in him. Because the reality is, even though our plans have changed, his plan has not. His plan is still going to happen. All we have to do is recognize that this is just a period of time. This is just a short period of time where things are looking a little different for us, but his plan is going to happen no matter what. For me, that's encouraging. So I encourage you, when you feel discouraged, trust in God. Go to God. Go on a walk. Just pray. Spend time with him. Sometimes that's difficult for us. I encourage you to do that. On top of that, my second thing I want to encourage you to do, when you feel discouraged, and it sounds kind of weird, when you feel discouraged, I challenge you to find somebody to encourage. Find somebody to walk alongside of. Maybe it's on Zoom or FaceTime, but walk alongside them and encourage. I promise you, I know it doesn't sound like it, but I promise you it is helpful. When you take time to reach out and minister to someone else, it's just as much a ministry to you. So I encourage you that with those two things, when you feel discouraged, trust God and walk alongside someone else. Have a good week.